Y'all, I can't tell if it looks better with the lighting on or off. I think off, right? Cause I'm too messy. What it do, y'all, and welcome back to Here for the Mess. My name is Jared, and I'm your host, and I hope y'all are ready for a wild ride because I'm about to clock that tea. Welcome back, y'all. Second episode in. First of all, I gotta say, I apologize in advance if I'm giving Crips Keeper if I look tired and drained. I just had the most amazing weekend at the Webby's Creator Weekend this weekend in New York City. Oh my gosh, my first creator event. Like, motion is happening. I'm so happy. But wow, it's very different, I will say, going to these events in your 30s as compared to what I was doing back in LA in my 20s. Night and day difference. I also will say it's a night and day difference on like the type of people I met. Oh my goodness, the creator economy has changed so much, y'all, and maybe it's because I'm in New York City that people are nice. But I have never felt like so at home with a group of people that were like there for a mission to just like do the damn thing in their own niche, which was so cool. Like, it didn't matter about how many followers you had or who you knew. Everybody was just walking up to each other and talking to each other, and I met so many amazing folks. So as y'all can see, my brain is like going crazy, but it was phenomenal. But I am definitely drained, as well as my social battery. So y'all gotta, forgive your girl if the energy ain't as crunk as it was last week. But we still gonna get into it. So many hot topics to discuss. And to top things off, I done left my damn Celsius. But I don't even need to be drinking that. That's why people be getting this type 2 hypertension, girl. I'm gonna be dropping a vlog on my Patreon. So if you ain't a patron, girl, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead, subscribe today, get into this exclusive tea from your girl. But yeah, had so much fun. And thank you. Shout out to my girl, Emily, for looking out for your girl. Oh, it meant so much to spend time with you, and as well for you to experience like what greatness could be if everything just aligned for your girl. So yeah, it was an amazing time. I had so much fun, y'all. Now, like I said, it's a lot of tea. So as far as housekeeping, y'all already know, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You already here right now. You made it this far. Subscribe, share, comment, like. Also, share more topics that y'all want me to get involved into. I'm starting an Ask Jer vibe on my Patreon that I might migrate over to this YouTube channel. But I want y'all to get involved on hot topics that you think my interpretation or my intellect would be really good at digesting. So get involved, show your girl some love. The engagement helps way more than y'all think. And I've grown, like, I think I got like 200 more subscribers since last week. So all the new faces, hi, and thank y'all so much. And I appreciate it. And I hope y'all get into this episode because it is juicy, girl. Let's just go ahead and hop into that good. First topic, first main event, the thing that's been on my brain, because on my episode of the weekly wind down, it was about like the Met Gala, not necessarily about the Met Gala, but it inspired this topic of, have we phased out of the perfect celebrity? Is it just like a bunch of like mini superstars that are now taking over vibes? Like, who's gonna pass the torch from the current legends and take over things? And one of the people that I mentioned that I thought had potential to do this, y'all, was my girl from South Africa. She don't want to be called a black lady. I'm gonna say a colored caramel princess, Tyla. Y'all, it's only been 3 days and so much has changed. And I'm just like, because Rihanna and Tyla Beefin wasn't on my bingo card for 2026. We've all seen the comparisons between the two because Tyla she's using more of like African flavor, but they have, the rhythmic vibes. So people consider that almost islandy in a way. Very, very homogenous sound, okay? But I feel like Rihanna is just such her own person, and she just on her own wavelength, and she just gonna vibe with who she do, and she not gonna vibe with who she don't vibe with. She kind of honestly reminds me of Pink. Like, both of them gonna let it be known, like, if they don't mess with you or they don't want to work with you or something like that, they just go tell it how it is. I remember Pink came for Christina Aguilera because they were using the same songwriter, Linda Perry, and Christina Aguilera, after they had just finished collaborating on Lady Marmalade, one of the best collaborations of all time. I think it was on like Behind the Music or something, but she said copying isn't the biggest form of flattery. It's actually pretty damn annoying. And number one, I kind of have to agree, stop biting people. But secondly, I just love how cutthroat she be. And I think that's kind of needed in the industry. Sometimes you need a little razzle dazzle, a little spice. But anyway, it's only been 3 days, but there's been so much drama. So let me walk y'all through the timeline of things and what's been going on. So like I said, we both know that both ladies attended the Met Gala last week. And during the event, I guess Rihanna maybe needed to take a break, possibly to go spy on her damn baby daddy. We're gonna get to him in a second. And somehow, A$AP Rocky, some random bimbo, I don't want to call her bimbo, some random lady, a Rachel or Becky, Rihanna, Tyla, and one of Tyla's team representatives all ended up on like this separate outside side area. And then this is where we get footage of this random interaction where we see ASAP over there thotting and bopping with this girl, just caking it up with her in front of his baby mama. Then it pans to Rihanna getting interviewed, and you can clearly see that this lady is agitated, that she does not want to be talked to. If anything, she want to be spying on what ASAP is doing. And then the camera pans to Tyla, and Tyla's sitting there over, kind of like how I be sometimes, looking like little fangirl, like, oh, I want to talk to you, please. Can I come over? Can I come over? Which is so awkward. Let's just say things didn't quite go as planned or as to Tyla's liking of how she wanted things, because the next day she decided to go online and do a little mini recap of how things went. She probably was trying to like defend the awkwardness or the lack of communication that we all watched, because let's face it, if you go on Twitter, if anything spreads like wildfire on Twitter or TikTok, that is the public perception of the incident for the rest of eternity. But anywho, Tyla ended up saying the only reason why there was a lack of communication or she didn't get to chat with Rihanna was because she was busy, and she was hinting at busy spying on her man or checking in on her man, that she couldn't tap in with Tyla. Now, personally for me, I'm thinking Rihanna is not the biggest fan of this, because then the next day after this, when Rihanna's recapping her outfit of the event and doing a little reel and promo for the event, she uses Arya Starr's Who's That Girl, which is, I wouldn't say she's a rival of Tyla, but both of them are like African princesses that are like really killing the game right now. And I guess maybe their fandoms don't click or get along. But that was definitely shade. A lot of people are saying that we're reading into things, or that she probably just likes the song. Nah, girl, because I've seen it all over TikTok and all over Twitter, how those fandoms clash. But then it's just so interesting because now we've done reawakened the Navy. I feel like the Navy has been dormant for so long. And people don't forgot how they used to be wreaking havoc on Twitter back in 2011 to like 2014 era. Oh my goodness, they were kind of up there with the barbs. Before I get into the ladies dynamic, I want to clock this one thing, y'all. We got to keep in mind, a lot of the drama that we're witnessing right now, all is stemming from a man who does not know how to act right, especially in front of his lady, and especially at one of the biggest events of the whole damn year that all eyes gonna be on y'all. I don't even care if y'all in the side hallway, girl, like, use common sense. But that's one thing about boys. When they be sprung, girl, they don't care. Look at Jay-Z getting beat up by Solange, but talk about Met Gala. But boys, like, I'm telling y'all, they brain just turn off when they are just in that zone and they want what they want. So it's just crazy to see that he would do that in front of Riri, of all people, the mother of his children. Like, come on, ASAP, do better. There was no reason for you to have been thotting and bopping over there to the left, where you can clearly see Rihanna. Now, she wasn't in distress, but she was uncomfortable, you know what I mean? That is the stemming factor as to why I feel like Rihanna was not in the mood to be chatting with Tyla. Or maybe she just didn't want to talk to the girl. Like, that could be. I've been starting to realize that in my own life. Like, maybe people just don't like it. They don't like whatever product or commodity or personality you offer out there, but that don't mean like you're necessarily wrong or right. It's just, it is what it is. Because I mean, y'all done just seen Riri reject that lady for trying to take a picture with her on the dance floor. She ended up over there busting a 1-2 step like Sierra. Ooh, we gonna clock that too. Because this reminds me of their beef back in 2012, where Rihanna told Sierra, good luck selling out those stadiums that you speak of. Or did she say stadiums or concerts? I don't know. But either way, that was just quite the moment for us little college kids back then. Ooh, girl, dating myself. With that kind of personality, another person that Rihanna reminds me of is Shaka Khan. I don't know if y'all ever seen some of her interviews, but she's one of the most blunt celebrities you'll ever encounter. I'd be finding that stuff so funny. She already collaborated with Ariana Grande, and then somebody asked her what she liked to collaborate with her. She said, no. Like, Shaka, girl. Ain't nobody singing with her. Now, given how as fast this thing escalated in pop culture economy, within 2 weeks, there's going to be a whole other beef or story that people are going to be moving on to. So I would just tell the ladies, probably just lay low, y'all. It was cute. It was a little razzle-dazzle moment, but we don't need to be going that far. We need to be having unity amongst the ladies, okay? And as for Tyla, boo, you need to get better PR or get into the media training that they used to have in the 90s and the 2000s. That goes for that whole class. Jack Harlow, Cat's Eye, David. Well, girl, now he in jail, girl. You gotta work on obviously being humane people. I should have removed him from But secondly, just work on elevating like what we're portraying out there, because there's so much like normalcy or like normal-minded thinking in these actions, and it's draining, it's diluting the allure of the magical world of pop. So come on, y'all, get it together. I get that, you know, being relatable and authentic is so in right now, but it's also really awesome to like show regard to your predecessors, you know? And I feel like the outcome would be a lot better. Well, better than this girl, okay? In other news, y'all, after about 9 10 years in the game, and after officially getting knocked up by 21 Savage, my girl, Big Latto, has announced that she is retiring from music. Boy, oh boy, do I have so many thoughts about this. In general, for me as an artist, like, I don't think we need to be making announcements that we are leaving permanently. Like, there's no permanence in anything like that. You think you're gonna be married to somebody and then y'all get divorced. Like, there's so many things that we just think are gonna be forever. They can be so short term, or your mind just evolves and thinks differently. So I hate when people do these like big broadcasts. Like, I'm done and it's over. Plus, we done seen like these veterans like Fleetwood Mac and Kiss. They love coming out of retirement, girl. Frankie Valli, y'all seen him up there lip syncing? But they love to do this. They love to come out of retirement every 10 years and give us a reunion tour. So it's like, maybe we've been tainted from that for the last 30 years, but it's just like, for me, I'm just like, we don't need to do that. Now, with the current examples that I just gave y'all, at least these people had like 30 years under their belt to actually be in the game long enough to announce a retirement. Latto, boo, you kind of just started in the grand scheme of things. Like, she was on the reality competition show where Ludacris was a judge, and she has released 3 albums, so I will give her that. That's a great accomplishment. But in my opinion, her biggest hit was 2020 when it came to Big Energy and the remix with Mariah Carey, and I feel like that's what catapulted the song, was the fact that it was a sample. So I don't think worldwide enough people know like what you do big enough. No disrespect to your artistry, but I feel like you just haven't launched to your full potential just for you to like come out and announce a departure from this. Like, it doesn't make sense. I could see if you wanted to say, I'm going on hiatus because I want to focus on being a mommy. Like, several people do that all the time. We saw Cardi B took 6 years off, but look, she finally came back with Am I the Drama? And that was a very big commercial success. So I think it's something that's important to think about. Like, we don't have to go to these big extremes on making these big announcements. And then furthermore, if you're using that as like a tactic to sell more records, I don't think it's going to work as cool as you think it is. People are just going to be like, oh, okay, good luck. And then they're going to move on, girl. And then if you think about it, some of our favorite artists, like, their maturity doesn't even start vocally, like how we hear their best, their peak, until their 30s. Like, one of my favorite artists, Brandy, some of her best singing didn't even start until like Aphrodisiac, Human era. And people would think, no, that's crazy. Brandy got hits on hits, especially in the 90s. Yes, these songs are bops, but if you go back and listen, y'all gonna be like, dang, Brandy sounded like a baby, or dang, Brandy sounded so young. Whereas you listen to the later records and they sound so more full and mature. So I think that, again, I know, Brandy and Latto are not competing on the charts, but y'all know what I mean. I feel like Latto could give herself 5 years, 10 years, and then come back swinging, and we could be seeing a whole different side, which is probably what's going to happen. Mark my words, y'all come back to this video in 10 years or when she comes out of retirement. Pretty positive her and 21 Savage have enough money combined to be set for life. I'm just saying, like, what if they wanted to do a joint album? Like, stop restricting yourself just because you want to focus on being a mommy. Like, you can still do that and still pursue your art, or your heart, which is your art, because if this is truly your passion, or if you want it to be like this so badly, it's never gonna leave you, girl. All right, y'all. Apparently, they done invented time travel. Because we rolling it back to 2020, y'all. Coronavirus. Well, it ain't the coronavirus, but it's the Hantavirus, girl. I don't even want to be learning it because I need it to get out of my brain, because I don't even want to be thinking about this, because why are we going through this again? It's like, it's giving me PTSD. No. As of today, there have been 8 people with cases and 3 deaths, but I feel like they lying. I feel like it's way more than that. I just know. I don't trust our our sources. So how are we feeling about this, y'all? Maybe it's the Aquarius in me, but I feel like this is why our civilization is personally never going to outlive any of this. It's going to burn down just like all the other greats, because people so individualistic. They would rather mess up the thing for the rest of humanity instead of coming forward and being honorable and being like, yes, I messed up, but quarantine my booty for 45 days. Not let me hop on a place where 2,000 other people could potentially get infected. But people, they just won't ever, they don't have enough pride, or maybe their pride is taking over them so much that they don't have enough common sense to come up and just think of the betterment of the rest of humanity. It's like that sneakily, like, sly, I'm gonna get through this. Especially, I witnessed that in New York, girl. Everybody on the train coughing. No mask, just coughing, doing the most. It's like, y'all can stay home. It's okay to be sick. You can rest. But no, everybody don't want to be missing action. They want to be involved. It's all that FOMO that everybody has. You have to participate in everything. But I'm just telling y'all, sometimes when we chill and we relax and we let our bodies heal, then you can go and have that experience. I know it could possibly be disappointing to have to like push back your cruise 2 weeks, or maybe you have to rebook into the next year or something of that sort. Inconveniences are shitty, but think of the greater inconvenience you're causing humanity by putting all of us at risk. But then y'all, I told y'all because the plot thickens. I saw today that there's like another cruise infected with, it's not this Hantavirus, but something else, and 100 people had that. Not 3, not 8, 100. And a lot of them came back to the States and they're quarantining for 45 days. What about the people that got them off the plane, that handed them the luggage? Like, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm obviously like being laughy and giggly and stuff like this, but we got to really be hitting up our loved ones, y'all. If y'all can go travel and see people do it sooner than later, I'm just saying, the same way I was feeling a little uneasy about what was happening in 2020, I'm kind of getting flashbacks to that. And again, I don't know if that's just the trauma of everything that we went through, y'all, but we just got to just be paying attention to what's going on because it's complete devastation, like, to our actual nation, okay? And like I said, until we fix this every man for themselves, individualistic mentality, we're never going to be able to get through something like this on a positive accord. It's always going to be some mass hysteria, 200 million people dying for no reason. You can have all the most brilliant scientists in the world, but if they don't know how to hold each other accountable and walk through what they're doing with like integrity and pride, then what is it all for at the end of the day? It's just like all them evil movies that we see when the people want to go steal the formulas and stuff like that. That's what they reenacting. Then you got untrustworthy folks like RFK Jr. as the representation of like health. I know all the other countries just looking at us like, what happened? Like, y'all, we were the top dog. We controlled the media, the landscape of pretty much everything. And now it's just falling before our eyes. Oh, but best believe, though, if we do go on another hiatus, y'all, your girl, we doing the whole creator route this time. Bump these jobs. Well, hopefully I ain't in no essential worker status girl. Oh, well, we gonna figure out a way to not be on that list. Because that's what, like, one of my biggest regrets is I was so shy that I couldn't join that last wave of the creator wave. But it's okay because I feel like there's a new vibe that's in the atmosphere right now. I'm having some good fun times right now online, so we'll see what comes of this. But yep, your girl will be doing the live streams, the videos, all of it. Okay, we not missing out. When we rise like a phoenix, girl, it's gonna be up. Y'all seen the Spice Up Your Life music video? It's gonna be World of J everywhere just like that. We gonna make it through. All right, y'all. We gonna get into some music news. I thought this was a very interesting topic and I would love to hear y'all opinion on this. So Lil Fizz, who is a member, he was a rapper of the boy band, the Millennium boy band B2K, who also had members Omarion, Raz B, and J Book. He had an interview with Cam Newton and brought up the fact that B2K were ahead of their time. There was no one hitting numbers like they were, and that they wrote their own music and they didn't need to use a whole bunch of features on their songs because they had all the elements within the group. They could sing, they had the movies, all that. I love me some B2K. Really cool representation to see growing up, all right? Cam Newton came with a left hook, which I was like, oh, this is a really good point. He said, well, what about Pretty Ricky Girl? Ooh, ooh, ooh. To which Lil Fizz said, oh, no, ma'am. Lil Fizz said, Pretty Ricky is not on our level, girl. They will never be on our level. And I think maybe he's thinking about sales, which is true because in the years 2002, B2K were cool. And also that was the time to be buying a CD. Like, CDs were still selling in 2005 when Pretty Ricky dropped, and 2007 when they dropped the second album. But earlier in the decade, that's when NSYNC then was selling 1.7 million copies in one day. So Lil Fizz might be right in that perspective, but I'm thinking this would be a really cool versus. Well, first of all, it would be a cool versus, but I also feel that Pretty Ricky would clear B2K. Pretty Ricky dances, Pretty Ricky sings, they rap. Their catalog, if you think about it, we probably listen to way more Pretty Ricky music in today's time and who we are as people than B2K. I feel like B2K's music was kind of like for teenagers and tweens. When you think of like timeless music or music that evolves into the current day, they songs not really doing that. It's more of like nostalgic throwback. If you want to go to the parties and like have that, that's what people put on. But when it comes to the bops that Pretty Ricky has, what is it? Your Body, On the Hotline, even the slow jams, Grind on Me. They started a whole challenge on that during talk about coronavirus during the pandemic. I love that Lil Fizz is very confident. He reminds me of Mario when Mario was on TMZ and they asked him who his Mount Rushmore of R&B was. And he said, number one, me. You better, Mario. You better believe in yourself. But at the same time, I'm like, we got to be realistic. I really do feel that Pretty Ricky shouldn't be slept on. Florida's finest, okay? But yeah, I think it would be a dope show. It would be way better than this most French Montana and Rick Ross girl. First of all, I say this all the time, and I hate to be a hater, girl, because who listening to my music? But I personally don't know people that are like going out of their way to be like, oh my gosh, I just gotta go buy that new French Montana vinyl. Like, I personally, outside of, what was that big song? He had one big song. See, I can't even think of it, but it with Sway Lee, right? Girl. But good for him for having that hit record. That was a hit record. But for him to be going against Rick Ross, I just thought that was not the best mashup. All right, y'all, we got to give the biggest You Grew Up award to, shout out to Britney Spears' sons for not being like they damn daddy, okay? Now, a few weeks ago, I do got to report on this because this is my girl, but we got to report on it. A few weeks ago, my girl Britney, she did get arrested for a DUI, okay? But she will not be facing any jail time, luckily. Now, you know, her sons, they're adults. They running around Hollywood, which is so weird to think about because 20 years ago, I can remember reading on Perez Hilton that she was pregnant or she was having these babies or she was up there tearing up the paparazzi with the umbrellas over them trying to take pictures of them kids. So to see them being grown, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm old as hell. So fast forward, one of them was at the comedy club trying to go keep a show. And here go TMZ walking up to him talking about, how are you dealing with your mama arrest? Let's watch what he had to say.
Your mom been since she's gotten out of rehab?
I have no comment.
Yeah, I know that's right. He said, no comment. Please get out of my face. And he was very smooth with it. I love that. Because what we're not going to do is slander Britney. No slander will be tolerated when it comes to my girl Britney Spears. She done been through too much, okay? We need to be working with her, rehabilitating her, and not dosing her up with morphine and all the stuff that she was talking about in her memoir, girl. Oh, my girl done been through so much. But nevertheless, I loved how smooth that was, boo. And see, the thing about it, let me go ahead and clock even this. I know his daddy has been up in his ear, painting his mama out to be this villain, this wacko, this crazy lady or whatever, okay? I don't want to say I'm glad that he had to witness TMZ trying it, but I'm pretty sure in that moment, he got a whole flood, a rush of memories of all that stuff and being like, damn, my mama really probably went through it. Damn, I remember seeing them articles about my mama hitting TMZ with the umbrellas. I want to hit them with an umbrella right now too because they annoying the hell out of me. Like, I'm sure it just clicked for him, and I think he needed to go through that. Hearsay can only do so much, but when you go through something like yourself and it's like verbatim, of course he gonna side and he gonna ride with his mama. So it's a tough situation to have gone through, but shout out to him for keeping it a buck and keeping it real. I know that's right. You gotta love it when quality things can come out of tough situations like that. And I ain't even gonna front. Crazy Britney beating up TMZ with the umbrellas. Britney, she gave us some of the best bops we had. Don't tell me Blackout ain't probably one of the best pop albums of all time, girl. With her, Danger, and Carrie Hilson, that we wasn't just getting the best Break the Ice, girl. Are you kidding me? Why Should I Be Sad with her and Pharrell, girl? Britney, let's go. It's time for me to move along. It's time for me. Come on. Come on. This lady was in her bag, okay? Let her do her thing. Much healing to her. And shout out to the Fam Bam, girl, for you done trained them well, girl. You let them know. TMZ, don't mess with us, girl. Y'all go get... Where is that umbrella? And my message to TMZ is, y'all started out the year real good by going over there and harassing all the people in government and our politicians and holding them accountable to the bullshit that they've been dragging us through. Not just for y'all to go ahead and backslide and go revert back to the stuff that y'all was doing back in 2006. Y'all better cut it out, TMZ. I was on y'all good side for a minute now. Don't be going back and doing all that petty stuff, okay? We need y'all to be focusing on like the real people causing devastation and chaos and all the crazy stuff that we're just so and repulsive to right now, okay? Don't be doing it. Don't do that, okay? Y'all, we getting rounded out. It seems like probably a quick show. Maybe I was just so excited to chat with y'all that I'm just like letting it all spill out. We had a couple of other honorable mentions. I don't want to dig too much into it, but this whole James Charles getting mad at the person DMing him for some money because she got fired from Spirit Airlines. I know he already did an apology video, but the things about James Charles that aggravates me is I feel like we just be forgiving him for every single time. Like, this got to be his damn 9th or 10th incident within the last 8 to 10 years, y'all. Y'all get all irate, y'all get upset, and then y'all just let it slide and y'all welcome him back. He posts another funny meme or one of them crazy covers. Yeah. And y'all just fall in love with him again, and I'll never get it. Same thing with Jeffree Star, y'all. I'll never get it. These people be showing y'all time after time, over and over, who they are, what their true character, their integrity, all that stuff we were talking about earlier. They show y'all verbatim who they are. Y'all get mad and then y'all ride their wave. I'll never get it. And that goes to show you this elitism, especially when it comes to class. I'm never going to stop fighting about this. Everybody talking about racism when I feel like classism is such, if not on par or even a bigger issue at hand that nobody is clocking or paying attention to, because MAGA done got all these poor people in damn Arkansas thinking that they're going to be a millionaire or a billionaire and they're going to need to support people that don't have their own interests at heart. And if they actually sided with the black people that they claim is on welfare or the welfare queens, even though they are the welfare queens, if they actually pull together and the poor revolted against the oligarchies, like, that's when we have fun. That's when we start overthrowing and creating a new normal, but they'll never get that being simple-minded. So that's where we are right now. Yeah. We can get there, y'all, if y'all want to go there. Another weird and honorable mention, Cardi B and Steffon Diggs are apparently back on, y'all. Okay, she said, not guilty in the court of law, girl. Come back in and give me that sugar, honey. I guess. If it's for the kids, what's best for the kids? If we want a happy home, that's cool. If they like smashing, what I don't know. Sometimes I like when people keep me out of their business because it kind of just seems odd and fishy to go back and forth like this publicly with someone that you kind of shamed back around the Super Bowl, and it was kind of just a hot mess with him that whole February. And then with this case, I don't know, but maybe she was with him, but I know she was on tour, girl, with Missy Elliott and all the greats, girls. So the Cardi was doing her thing. Sometimes I think taking a break from these men is the best solution to finding peace of mind or figuring out like who you are without the drama. You know what I mean? You can be the drama, but you'll have less of it without these men. I swear they're more dramatic than some of the women. They are the biggest crybabies. They are the biggest sore losers. They the ones that throw the biggest temper tantrums over nothing, girl. You remember that episode of the Amanda Show, or was it All That, for Dear Ashley, when the person wrote in and said that they love to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but they love the peanut butter to be on the top and the jelly to be at the bottom, and they get mad when someone gives it to them in reverse, and then Amanda starts freaking out over it. That's how I be feeling about men, y'all, every single day. They are so pea-brained like that, and yet they the ones running this whole orchestra. Are you kidding me? We got to bring back matriarchy. I clocked that last week, but did y'all want bring back matriarchy merch? Anywho, I love y'all down. Thank y'all for getting into my vibes. Thank y'all for accepting me for just being me and letting me rant and do just the wildest things. You got to understand, y'all, I've been kind of told like my whole life to kind of be quiet, shut up, don't talk about these things. It's not politically correct. It's not the best thing to do. And so training myself to just let myself be and let myself be free at that is a muscle that I'm learning to flex, but it's just gonna come with time. So for y'all to be, again, on this journey with me and enjoying the content and the laughs and the giggles and the kikis, I am forever indebted to all of y'all. Hopefully next week we gonna have better lighting, but until then, y'all gonna be with me. We gonna progress. Soon we gonna have a set, okay? I'm coming for y'all, Wendy, Sherry Show, Jennifer Hudson. I definitely know I could do same standard as her, girl. Been loving her memes. That's another honorable mention. Y'all are amazing, and I will see y'all next week. Subscribe, share, comment, like, get into it. We're taking over. Peace.